All right. Muhammadu Buhari is no longer the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. In fact, if you add president to his name without putting formal, people might begin to think that you are crazy. You see, my father told me that no one lasts in the throne of time forever. Bedbug said to his children, relax, be patient. Whatever is hot today will be cold tomorrow. One of the Beatles wrote, and all things must come to an end. This is the end of Muhammadu Buhari being our president, and he will never come back again. Thank God for the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, that after 8 years we are gone for good. You know, if you tell Muhammadu Buhari in 2015 that 2023 is coming, he might tell you to relax, that 2023 is still a long year to come. But here we are in 2023. In fact, he cannot even use the presidential plane anymore because it does no longer belong to him. Let us take a dive into the historical perspective of Muhammadu Buhari. But before we do this, make sure you take away every form of negative ethnicity from you. Don't watch this video with emotions, as you did in my last videos, okay? Listen, watching this video with emotion is like building a house in bricks of emotionalism that cannot stand in an ocean of rationalism. So be rational right here. Okay, let's go. Muhammadu Buhari came into power on the 31st day of December 1983. Before then, he had always sat in a meeting with Alhaji Shehu Shagari. You can see him up there in a meeting with Alhaji Shehu Shagari. Look at his face. Little did Alhaji Shehu Shagari know that he was having something in his mind on taking over the government. Hi! There will always be a Judas in your midst. And now on the 31st day of December 1983, he sacked that government. But not that he sacked the government that is appalling to us. What is appalling to us is that he sacked a civilian, democratically elected government. And that connotes only one thing. It connotes that this man is an enemy of democracy. You know, when military takes over power from another military, we don't talk because that is their way of doing things. But when you sack a civilian, democratic elected government, it suggests and connotes that you are an enemy to democracy. But what baffles us the more is that when he came into power, he accused the government of Alhaji Shehu Shagari of corruption. But then he went further and gave Alhaji Shehu Shagari a house arrest and threw his vice, Dr. Alex Ekwueme, into maximum security prison of Kirikiri. If you accuse a government of corruption, why then do you give the president house arrest and throw the vice in Kirikiri? Between the president and the vice, who is in charge of an administration? So what he did simplifies one thing, connotes and suggests one thing: negative ethnicity. That's what it suggests, negative ethnicity. The last interview that was conducted on Dr. Alex Ekwueme after he spent 6 years in prison in his hometown, an interview was conducted on him in Oko in Anambra State. He said that after that act was carried out on him by Muhammadu Buhari, he felt like Nigeria is not worth dying for. That was what late Dr. Alex Ekwueme said in an interview. That act made him begin to think that Nigeria is not worth dying for. Alright, but let's proceed into this life of Muhammadu Buhari. This man has always been in the habit of accusing Nigerians of one thing or the other. Today he said Nigerian youths are lazy. Do you know what he said then? The Nigerians are lawless. And so he brought up a campaign called War Against Indiscipline. War Against Indiscipline was an act scheduled to meet the misadjustment of people's social behavior. He has always believed in force. He believed that with force you can correct social menace. Where has it been done? Social menace can only be corrected through enlightenment and education programs, but they use force to do this. And needless to say, he had a very ruthless officer by his side who was the backbone of his government, Tunde Idiagbon. Tunde Idiagbon is a no-nonsense officer. He doesn't smile. In fact, Tunde Idiagbon said that a soldier is supposed to smile once in a month when he or she is correcting his or her salary. Tunde Idiagbon smiles only once in a year during his birthday. And when he smiled, it made an headline. The headline said, Tunde Idiagbon smile. Tunde Idiagbon was ruthless. He was the one who enforced this law against indiscipline. Nigerians were beaten mercilessly on the roads, made to do frog jumps, treated like animals. This law against indiscipline was effective from March 1984 to September 1985. And all these things were going on, and Nigerians were passing through things. But you know, the death that will kill a dog will not allow it to perceive danger. When Muhammadu Buhari orchestrated the kidnap of Omar Diko from Britain, the British government was against it. And that kidnap was abortive. Few months down the line, on the 27th day of August 1985, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida came into the political scene of military regime and took over from Buhari. Danzuki, the former national security advisor to the former president Goodluck Jonathan, immediately placed Buhari in chains and threw him inside prison in a time when the Muslims were celebrating their festival and having public holidays. When Buhari came out of prison, his wife Sifinatu divorced him, and in 1989 his romance with Aisha Buhari began. Aisha Buhari was not the first lady when Buhari was a military head of state. Okay, it was Sifinatu who was there, and Sifinatu died in 2006 from complication and from diabetes. And now let us move. In 1999, the birth of Fourth Republic, Obasanjo became the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. What happened? All the soldiers removed their military uniform and wore Agbada, because Agbada now is now a prerequisite and a criteria of getting power in Nigeria. Because the military uniform is no longer a criteria and a prerequisite to getting power in Nigeria, all of them, including Buhari, removed their uniform and wore Agbada. It's only in Nigeria and in Africa that the difference between a soldier and a civilian is uniform. People don't pay attention to their mindset. A soldier is conditioned and trained to think in a particular way, but we don't pay attention to that. So immediately Buhari removed this uniform. He became a civilian, ready to contest for power. And so in 2003, he joined ANPP, All Nigeria People's Party, contested under their support and their umbrella in 2003 and 2007. He lost. And then he jumped to CPC, contested again in 2011. He lost. He jumped to APC in 2014 to contest in 2015. And it was alleged that he said, if you lose again, blood will flow. But thank God to the man in power who said his political ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan congratulated him. And then Buhari went into power in 2015. And all of the north and few in the west, few in the south, all screamed on top of their voices, say Baba. Little do we know that it was the birth of the new things to come. First thing first, Baba wanted to take revenge. He took Sambo Danzuki, who arrested him in 1985, because it's now payback time. He's using the political power for payback. So what did he do? He took Danzuki and arrested him for alleged fraud and embezzlement of funds made for the procurement of firearms. Alright? It didn't stop there. Under his watch, so many things happened in Nigeria. Under his watch, for the first time, we saw and heard of snake swallowing 36 million. Under his watch, monkeys in Kano swallowed 6.8 million. Under his watch, people died at the toll gate. Under his watch, banditry became a norm. Under his watch, herdsmen with guns became frequent. Under his watch, terrorism started scaring Nigerians. And under his watch, a lot of things happened. Mandates of political ambitions were stolen. Under his watch, Nigerians could not even talk, because when you take a uniform from a soldier, he can't take his mindset totally. So we must begin to know that these things are effective. And only for him to tell us few days before handing over that he's desperate to leave office. And I shake my head. I shook my head. I say, desperate to leave office? After all you have done? And then he started asking for apology, telling Nigerians that he's sorry, that they should forgive him if that administration has caused pain to any Nigerian. Listen, sir, it is not us who determine how we'll be judged. But time will tell our story, and history will be our judge, and posterity will state how you will be remembered for all the pains you caused these people and us in this country. Africa, Nigeria, we must begin to elect people who has ideas, people who has demonstrated ideas, because we are recycling the same system over and over again, and we're expecting change, and this change cannot come if we do not change our mindset. The problem with Africa is that those with ideas do not have power. It is those who are without ideas that have power. I am not saying that Muhammadu Buhari was a bad man, but I'm saying that he did bad things. Now it is left for you to know whether he was a bad man or not. My people will say, this man is not a thief, but when he passes, things will miss. It is left for you to decide. But remember, Africa, remember Nigeria, that wisdom is the principal thing.